Chapter 3: Internal Struggle, the Impossible Return to Normalcy.
Newscast. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We interrupt your regular programming to bring you the latest breaking news. We have just received a distressing update on the ongoing reign of terror by the notorious serial killer known as the Shadow Reaper. This individual has struck again, claiming yet another victim. This is his 35th confirmed kill. The latest victim, identified as John Doe, was found brutally slain today, and like usual, the killer left behind only a black mask. Police believe the crime occurred during the late hours of the night, leaving neighbors shocked and fearful for their own safety. Law enforcement officials are working tirelessly to gather any leads that could potentially lead to the capture of the Shadow Reaper. The public is urged to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity to the authorities. In a shocking development surrounding the notorious Shadow Reaper, authorities have revealed that the latest victim, identified as John Doe, was found with no immediate identifying information. However, based on certain indicators, investigators suspect that the victim might have connections to the technology industry. The fact that all of the victims have connections to the technology industry, news industry, and government agencies suggests a calculated approach. We implore anyone with knowledge related to these crimes to come forward and assist in the ongoing investigation. By joining forces, we can bring an end to the reign of terror inflicted by the Shadow Reaper and bring justice to the victims.
That's awful. I hope they catch this monster soon. This is just awful.
Maybe they had it coming to them. Maybe they...
What? He's a monster. What's wrong with you?
Well, what if these people did something to him and he's getting even?
What the hell is wrong with you? Oh my God, are you serious?
You don't even know this person or his story. You know.
You need to see a psychiatrist ASAP. I can't deal with this right now.
Mom abruptly left, but not before grabbing a bottle of her pills. The atmosphere shifted, a sense of unease settling in. The sound of the bedroom door slamming shut echoed through the air, leaving a lingering tension in the air. In the midst of the unsettling atmosphere, my mind wandered back to the encounter with Masood. Memories of our brief interaction played vividly in my thoughts. He saw something in me, something unique and captivating. It was as if he could unravel the layers of my soul just by observing my mannerisms and expressions. I had never felt such a connection before, a sense of being truly seen and understood. In his presence, I felt a comforting reassurance, as if we shared a secret understanding of the world. The memory of his gentle smile and the sparkle in his eyes brings a flicker of warmth amidst the darkness that surrounds me. As I reminisce about our encounter, a pang of longing tugs at my heart. The thought of his absence in my life now amplifies the feeling of isolation. I yearn for someone who can comprehend the complexities that lie within me, someone who can understand the depths of my being. But as my mind returns to the present, I can't escape the realization that Masood is entangled in something far more sinister. Questions swirl in my thoughts, intertwining the allure and the chaos that surrounds him. I can't help but wonder if he holds secrets beyond my imagination, secrets that might unfold with time. There has to be a reason behind his actions. Caught between the desire for understanding and the caution born from uncertainty, I find myself navigating a fragile balance, my emotions teetering on the edge of curiosity and apprehension. In the depths of my contemplation, a daring thought tiptoed into my mind, whispering a disturbing notion that I dared not speak aloud. Could there be a purpose, a twisted justification behind the killings attributed to him? As unsettling as it seemed, a part of me couldn't dismiss the idea that there might be a method to his madness. The targets, those individuals from the technology industry, news industry, and government agencies, what if there was a hidden thread connecting them? What if their actions or positions held a significance that eluded the rest of us? A surge of conflicting emotions surged within me. I wrestled with the unsettling notion that there might be a purpose behind his actions. Could he be seeking justice, retribution, or some twisted form of balance? My thoughts spun in a web of moral ambiguity, entangling me further in a complex tapestry of fascination and unease. I couldn't deny the allure of such a concept, a hidden motive lurking beneath the surface of his seemingly random acts of violence. But in the depths of my soul, a flicker of doubt and unease whispered caution. How could I entertain such thoughts, even momentarily, when innocent lives had been brutally taken? Yet, a part of me clung to the idea that there might be a reason, a twisted rationale that I couldn't fully comprehend. It both repelled and intrigued me, blurring the boundaries of right and wrong. In the midst of this internal turmoil, I yearned for answers, for a glimpse into the mind of the beautiful man who had unknowingly stirred such conflicting emotions within me. But as I delved deeper into this dangerous line of thinking, I couldn't help but wonder if I was treading on treacherous ground. Should I let curiosity guide me towards the truth, or should I retreat, clinging to the safety of conventional morality? The uncertainty loomed like a shadow, casting doubt on every thought and emotion that stirred within me. I must find out why. Chapter 4, The Decision. Did I really get to decide? As I sat in my classroom, the air felt heavy with a mix of tension and unease. The teacher's voice droned on about the importance of following the law, while my mind wandered. Our school is not far from one of the locations where Masood might be, since our school was close to where the last victim was found. Whispers of conversations filled the room as my classmates discussed the infamous serial killer's 50th kill. Fear danced in their eyes, and a palpable sense of vulnerability hung in the air. They spoke in hushed tones, exchanging theories and speculations about his identity, and they questioned whether or not he would ever be caught. As I observed their fearful glances and annoying murmurs, the memories of Masood, his captivating presence, and the disturbing thoughts I had entertained about his motives resurfaced, intertwining with the unease in the classroom. While my classmates feared for their lives, I found myself caught between conflicting emotions once again. I tried to immerse myself in the lecture, which was about the importance of following the law. Yet, a small voice within me whispered, questioning the fragility of those boundaries. What if there was a reason, a twisted logic driving his actions? Was it possible to find understanding in the darkest recesses of his mind? The weight of my thoughts bore down on me, a burden I carried alone. How could I ever entertain the unsettling curiosity that lingered within me? I knew the consequences of entertaining such notions, the danger of veering off the path of morality. But deep down, I yearned for answers, for a glimpse into his mind. As the classroom discussion continued, I sat in silence, my thoughts wandering to the enigma of Masood and the disquieting dance between fear and fascination that swirled within me. In a world tainted by his deeds, I couldn't help but question the boundaries of law, morality, and the depths of human understanding during this lecture. The bell rang, signaling the end of the class, and I couldn't help but feel a mix of relief from the monotony of class and feeling of apprehension. Lunchtime meant stepping into the realm of socializing with my classmates, navigating the sea of conversations and interactions that often left me feeling detached and isolated.
I heard he's a gypsy who has gone mad. They're such disgusting creatures.
God's mistake.
This morning, I gave this gypsy girl, who comes by asking for food all the time, some of the food in my fridge that went bad, ha ha ha. I bet she's going to get real sick.
I once spit on a gypsy girl who. That's mean. Look who's talking. I heard you were defending that gypsy killer. What? Who told you that? My mom.
Go figure. You're hot and crazy. What a surprise.
Definitely crazy, but hot is a stretch. I would be hot too if I had plastic surgery. I don't have plastic surgery. I'm only 16. Why would I have plastic surgery? I've looked the same in every yearbook, and you can go look it up if you don't believe me. Photoshop, haha. I don't know why I even try.
Still hot, but definitely crazy.
My classmates' attempts to be mean to me quickly faded into insignificance as I caught wind of the latest news report detailing the Shadow Reaper's 51st victim. The chilling announcement cut through the air, capturing the attention of everyone in the room, momentarily silencing the trivial gossip of my classmates. In the face of such darkness, my own personal struggles paled in comparison. The isolation and judgment I endured from my peers now seemed trivial. An insatiable curiosity stirred within me, intertwining with a sense of urgency and an unyielding determination. I felt an overwhelming need to find Masood, to seek him out and delve into the depths of his psyche. I wanted to understand the reasons behind his actions, to see if I could convince him to stop. The thought of confronting him both exhilarated and terrified me. What if I could reach him, touch that hidden part of his soul that propelled him to commit these heinous acts? What if I could convince him to abandon his dark path, to find another way to satisfy the demons that tormented him? It was a dangerous proposition, one that could potentially place me in harm's way, but the allure of unraveling the enigma of Masood beckoned me forward. As the newscast concluded, leaving behind a lingering unease in its wake with my peers, I couldn't help but feel a mixture of fear, fascination, and an odd connection to him who walked the line between beauty and terror. With conviction in my heart and a flicker of hope guiding my way, I set out on a path that I knew would forever alter the course of my life. Chapter 5: The Storms. My turbulent search for connection. I need to find him, but how? I delved into the depths of my memories, attempting to recall something from the conversation we had on the way home, any clue of where I could find him. His fondness for the cemetery echoed in my mind, a peculiar fascination that held some significance to find him. I must go to the cemetery to find him. The thought of cemetery sent a shiver down my spine. The stillness, the silence, and the reminder of mortality made my heart race. But I had to confront my fear if I wanted to find him. I reminded myself that the deceased couldn't harm me, that it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. I decided to venture into the cemetery, hoping to find him.
Where are you going? It's raining like crazy?
I have to see my friend. She's been really sick and I need to drop off her assignment.
Oh, is that it? It's a boy, isn't it?
No.
What's his name?
I said no. I need to go before this storm gets worse.
Okay, well, here's my prescription. Swing by the drugstore and pick up my medication.
My mother had become close friends with a doctor who prescribed her addictive medication. Those pills helped her get through each day, the monotony of her job and daily life, but they also turned her into a lifeless shell. It's been 5 long years since I had a genuine conversation with her, as I chose to block out the painful memories of her addiction and our lost connection. Deep down, I yearned for a breakthrough, hoping to find a way to help her and restore our bond in the future. With trembling hands, my mother handed me the prescription, a stark reminder of her reliance on the medication. The sight of her vulnerability weighed heavily on my heart, as I understood the extent of her struggle. Despite the pain it brought me, my mind.
I remember when you were a little girl and you used to play in the rain. All the other kids went inside, but you always wanted to go out and play.
As my mother shared stories about my supposed love for playing in the rain, I couldn't help but feel a pang of disappointment. Those memories didn't align with my own recollection of my childhood. It was as if she had constructed an alternate reality, narrating tales that felt detached from my own experiences. Doubt crept into my mind, questioning the authenticity of our connection and whether I had merely imagined the depth of our bond in the past. The disconnect between her narrative and my memories left me questioning the very fabric of our relationship. I swiftly took the prescription from her trembling hands and hastily made my way out of the room. The weight of the situation lingered in the air, and I couldn't bear to stay any longer. She was completely oblivious to the pain I felt. With a mix of determination and unease, I walked away, carrying the prescription and a sense of detachment that mirrored the detachment I felt from her. Despite the worsening storm, an inexplicable urge propelled me towards the cemetery. Logic and reason begged me to reconsider, questioning the likelihood of finding him there amidst the downpour. But there was something irresistible about the thought of seeing him again, of unraveling the enigma that surrounded him. Perhaps I was driven by a desperate hope, disregarding the practicalities in pursuit of an elusive connection. As raindrops pelted my skin and lightning streaked across the sky, I pressed on, determined to find him in the midst of the storm. As the storm raged on, its ferocity seemed to fuel my determination rather than deter me. The howling winds and pouring rain mirrored the turbulence within my own heart. Each gust of wind, each raindrop that lashed against my skin, only served to strengthen my resolve. It felt as though, by facing the storm head-on and braving its relentless assault, would emerge stronger and more resolute. With each step I took, the storm seemed to acknowledge my unwavering determination. The thunder roared in approval, and the lightning illuminated my path with an electrifying energy. The storm became my ally, empowering me to confront the challenges ahead. I embraced the storm's chaotic embrace, finding solace in its wild symphony. As I neared the cemetery, the storm and I became intertwined in a dance of fierce determination. It was a test of my resolve, a proving ground where I sought to forge my strength. With every step forward, I embraced the storm's unyielding power, knowing that if I could conquer it, I would emerge fortified, ready to face whatever awaited me within the hallowed grounds of the cemetery. Finally, I arrived at the cemetery, a mix of elation and doubt swirling within me. Tears of both joy and uncertainty welled up in my eyes, battling for release. Happiness whispered to my heart, reminding me of the significance of this momentous feat. I had overcome the storm, defied the odds, and reached my destination. But logic, ever the cautious voice in my mind, questioned the purpose of my arrival. Why would anyone, let alone him, be here in this moment? Was I being foolish, chasing after mere illusions? Doubt tugged at my thoughts, threatening to erode the foundation of my determination. It whispered insidiously, mocking my pursuit as a futile endeavor. Was I simply deluding myself, hoping for a connection that may not even exist? The rational part of me cautioned against getting my hopes up, reminding me of the potential disappointment that lay ahead. Yet, deep within my core, a flicker of hope persisted. It reminded me of the inexplicable bond we had forged, the magnetic pull that drew us together. Despite the skepticism that clouded my mind, I couldn't ignore the profound connection we had shared, even if it seemed fleeting and enigmatic. It was that spark of hope that kept me going, pushing me forward against the tide of doubt. I stepped further into the cemetery, each footfall echoing with a mix of trepidation and anticipation. The storm may have challenged my resolve, and my logic may have scoffed at my actions, but in my heart, I knew that this journey held a significance beyond mere reason. I would follow the whispers of my heart, no matter how faint or uncertain they may be. For in the realms of possibility, sometimes it is in the most unexpected places, and in the face of doubt, that the extraordinary can be found. Standing in the cemetery, rain cascading down around me, I couldn't help but shiver from the chill that crept through my soaked clothes. The storm raged on, an unforgiving tempest that seemed to mock my presence. Doubt seeped into my thoughts, casting shadows of ridicule upon my decision to venture out in such weather. Regret washed over me like the relentless raindrops, saturating my spirit with a sense of foolishness. What had possessed me to come here, to expose myself to the elements, only to be met with a desolate landscape and my own sense of inadequacy? I berated myself for succumbing to hope's seductive call, for allowing it to lead me into this disheartening situation. As the storm intensified, my resolve wavered. The logical part of me chastised my actions, admonishing me for seeking connections in this way. What had I truly expected to find amidst the tombstones and the downpour? I questioned my own judgment, berating myself for succumbing to whimsical notions that held no grounding in reality. Yet, amidst the internal turmoil and the drenched solitude, a whisper of defiance emerged within me. It reminded me that sometimes, in the face of uncertainty and against all odds, the extraordinary can be found. It urged me not to surrender to doubt but to persevere, to embrace the unpredictable nature of life's journeys. With renewed determination, I straightened my posture. The rain continued to drench me, but I refused to let it extinguish the flicker of hope within my heart. For even in the midst of feeling foolish, there was a small flame that refused to be snuffed out, a glimmer of possibility that defied the downpour. And so, I stood resolute, ready to embrace whatever awaited me in this stormy cemetery. In this moment of vulnerability, I found strength in my persistence and a quiet resolve to uncover the truths that lay hidden within the rain-soaked labyrinth of life. Then there was a whisper.